People who downloaded their Google data and went through it. What were the most unsettling things you found out they had stored about you? That there is a map of everywhere I went in the last couple of years that's accurate to the hour. Google Maps, your timeline. Can we all upvote this same question next week when everyone has received their information? There's an audio recording of me saying check the Jewish boy's penis. I don't remember ever saying that, but okay. I'd never admit to that on the internet, either, buddy. I'm the vice president of a company that I've never heard of, and can't find any other info on it. Are you hiring? Only for unpaid interns. Sounds like a promotion to me. Congrats on the promotion, bro. I got drunk once and proceeded to get lost on the way home, ending up cycling on some highway. For 2 years I wondered where the hell I had been until I saw Google's location history for that night. I just found out I did fucking go to McDonald's in the middle of the night at my mate's birthday party without anyone fucking noticing, and they were telling me I was just passed out the whole time. Or your friend stole your phone, took it to McDonald's. Dude, this will be so funny when he goes through his phone's Google Maps history later. Google knows more than you. If you use Google Photos and allow Maps to track your location, I took photos that I didn't like, deleted them. Weeks later I am just browsing my timeline in Google Maps and those deleted photos are there, tagged to the location. Nothing incriminating, just thought you should know that a delete isn't a delete. Edit. A lot of people aren't reading this properly, so let me clarify. I didn't say I found my photos on Google Photos Cloud after deleting them on my phone. I found my cloud deleted photos on Google Maps timeline. And please spare me the guess what Google still has it paranoid shit. I know they still have it, and I don't care. I am merely answering OP's question. Yeah, I deleted some old photos and a year later they came up in a montage of the year. The funny thing is, I'd like them back but can't find them anywhere else. I once downloaded some porn when I was on vacation and deleted it when I was done. A few weeks later Google made a collection of all pictures movies I made during this vacation and the porno video was right there. Oh, what a touching moment for this fella. Apparently I sleepwalk thousands of kilometers and then manage to get back home in time for work. Also a bunch of recordings of my computer's fan spinning. But well, at least they got me on the fetish porn searches. Ah, Google. Hyped up Google. Incompetent Google. I know my data is in good hands. Edit. Found a fart. You sleepwalk thousands of kilometers? I have questions. So do I, but the most likely answer is just Google messing up with whatever it uses to track a user's location. Google messes up all the time. My activity is empty. It has been for a long time, so there shouldn't be anything for me to download. Right. Nope, 6 GB of data. Minus 10 GB. Holy shit, it's gonna take a while to download. It is an old account but I have all activity paused except YouTube watch history, so I'm really interested to see why it's so large. HMMMMM. Their profile claims I like Chinese rap. I have no idea why, other than one video I came across in the YouTube rabbit hole. I have this problem with air conditioner repair videos in Korean. No idea why Google thinks I speak Korean or why my air conditioner needs repair. You are now a moderator of our China. China will grow larger. I don't get how Google is recording secret conversations that can be stored and viewed. I thought this was exclusive to Google voice searches and commands, which are approved by the user in settings. How are these candid conversations being recorded and stored, and how can you view them? I used to have a cheap phone, and every time the air conditioning ran in my apartment it would start Google Voice. It was annoying as fuck because it not only closed whatever app I was using, but also messed with my volume settings, cranking my speakers up to max, turning off the ringer. Every time I contacted customer support, the response was, "This is a known issue. We're working on it." After a lot of looking around on the internet, I found out it was a pretty common problem with cheap mics. Most people were having issues with those cheap earbuds that came with a little mic on one wire, which was a million times worse when you'd be listening to music and have the volume suddenly reset to max without warning. Others were triggering it with dishwashers, road sounds, or just brushing up against the mic. It took Google 2 years to fix the issue. It's not unsettling, but I found out that Google can tell when I'm driving a car vs my motorcycle by using the gyroscopes in my phone. Till that you can do that. BRB soon after I go through mine. This post was probably in light of the news post 4 days ago about Google tracking your data. I remember the thread with people discovering you could download that data. Can you delete said data? Asking for a friend that has a crippling hentai addiction. In theory, yes. That is to say, there's a delete button. It only applies to your raw data, though. Anything they've derived, profiling data, is theirs, not yours. So once they've figured out you have a crippling hentai addiction, they'll know forever? Question is, will they adapt your browser ads in accordance with that information? Asking for a friend, eh? Of course, my damn lazy friend can't look anything up for himself. He makes me ask everything on this behalf. Fetishes, weird medical conditions, grade school math problems, you know how it is. Lazy friends. All phone activity, opened app, closed app etc. From the very first day I owned my phone, constant check of my GPS, constant check of my device orientation. If someone steals your Google account, they basically can find out everything there is to find out about you. The most unsettling one I've had came from Facebook, not Google. Mine a bit of background: I'm a straight guy with a lot of LGBT friends and was actively involved in supporting the Australian same-sex marriage campaign, so FB probably had me flagged as gay at the start of 2012. In 2012 I started dating someone. We'd been friends for some time. I'm on Facebook all the time. She had an account but almost never used it. We basically never communicated on Facebook. Immediately Facebook started telling me to mark her as a close friend and all of its ads changed from gay singles cruise and similar to romantic getaways for couples. I can only assume that it was able to tell from GPS that she spent a night at my place, and that I spent one at hers a few days later. Edit. A few guesses that Wi-Fi was involved. At the time I didn't have Wi-Fi at my place, and while she did I never connected to it. It was 2012 and I had a 2 GB mobile data limit for the month, which felt like so much that I couldn't imagine needing more. I never thought of that. 2 phones at the same place during the night tells a lot, I guess. Damn. 100%. I've had that happen several times now. A single mutual friend guarantees they'll show up as a recommended friend if you've been in close proximity. I previously worked in a mental health and substance abuse recovery center, and twice I had new suggested friends pop up on social media, specifically Snapchat and Instagram, immediately after a patient checking their phone in the waiting room. I once had a patient try to add me this way. Our GPS locations matched up and flagged us. Google knows if you've been fornicating. A basic metadata analysis would show who is cheating on their spouse as well. Audio recordings titles are generic and serialized, so make sure to take some precautions before listening to them in front of your family or randoms. Please don't make my mistake. Hey Google, how do I increase my penis size? Girlfriend staring at me. Was it your voice or hers? Lol, nice. My purchase history on websites like eBay, Amazon and other companies that, I guess, all sell their data about me to Google. I hardly no idea of it, and although I share things like my location to Google, seeing my purchases is kind of scary because I never allowed it. If you use Gmail for confirmation emails, they can recognize them and store the purchase data. Same for reservations, tickets etc. I started having notifications pop up on my phone. PSSST. Your $50 power bill is due on Friday, and for the life of me I had no idea how Google knew that till suddenly it hit me. Power company sends me an email when my bill is due to my Gmail account. It's like instead of Big Brother, it's Big Mother. My first ever Google search was what is a chicken, and the second was a chicken's real. It's crazy to think there are now generations of people young enough who can track back the entire history of their lives through third-party collected data. So many drunken audios. Like, not even meant for the phone, just background talking while, most of the times, very drunk. It was half unsettling, half fun to listen to them. Apparently when you press the microphone on the keyboard, I think it's for changing audio to text, it gets sent to Google. And apparently my drunken ass is very prone to misclick it. I feel like I should have more of a problem with Google having my data. Especially voice recordings. But after going through what they had, it's like 400 recordings of me saying make some coffee, play X on Netflix and turn off the lights. Maybe it's a bigger problem for people that use their assistants for more than home control. I'm doing it right now. Prob gonna update this chat when I get my results. I'm scared. ED1. The first thing that pops up are old XGO clips of me being cringy while playing Dust 2 casual a couple years ago. ED2. I'm finding Minecraft vids and old Blender interests I made. Gonna keep you guys updated. ED3. Found the recordings, nothing really interesting. But I also found the first profile banner and logo I've ever used for YouTube. I also found the first thing I ever did in Photoshop. The last thing is that I found old edits. The best one was me splashing water in my brother's face because of a trending prank. Make sure you do this on PC because it's easier. OMG, thank you guys for the upvotes. Shit, my account is like over 14 years old. I wonder how long the archive process will take. Thanks OP. Real THNKS, not a sarcastic one. Edit. 24 hours in. Still hasn't finished building the archive. Lel. Says it could take days. That would unsettle me. You're welcome. Just don't get too freaked out if you find your teenage cringy and embarrassing searches stored forever. Thankfully it will be from 17 years of age and up. So will you. Now if I could get my MySpace data, that would be some cringe. Lol. You stopped being cringy at 17. Wow. Google knows every location I've been to for the last couple of months. They stored multiple audio files of me talking to colleagues and friends, and worst of all, I did not know they were doing that. My mind is blown and I'm terrified. My private information is no one's business. Google. Also, thanks for spreading awareness. OP. Have some poor man's gold. And it's not just your own phone that's recording you. Yup. The worst part is that in the information age, you really cannot opt out. If you don't personally give up your details, someone else will, not necessarily on purpose, but the information giants have the capability of piecing together small fragments of information here and there, and over time they will have a terrifyingly accurate picture of you even if you personally do nothing. You do not have an option to not give out your info without sealing yourself in a very deep cave on an uninhabited island. Last night I had a conversation via Discord that resulted in me saying, oh wow. Now I gotta Google what baby platypuses look like. Then I proceeded to type baby on the Chrome search bar, and immediately got one and only one suggestion. Baby platypus. They have got to be listening and processing my audio input real time. I downloaded the Facebook data, and they store every single call's date, length and the phone number of the other side, what I made in the past. If something is free, you are the product. Read it on Reddit. But they also had copies of text messages too. Facebook data is terrifying to look through. To even have every picture sent in any conversation is scary. I joined a chat once that turned into an 18+ nude sharing thing. So now I just have all these random nudes from around the world sitting in that data after being in that group for less than 2 days. Awesome work, Facebook. So much trust. I'm a web designer and I can tell you that the scariest shit is not what they have on you, it's how they get that info. That is true. Browser fingerprinting is from the devil. Your combination of browser operating system update version RAM add-ons etc. gives them a fairly unique set of data points to identify you by, even as your IP address changes over time, and even a few errant logging into accounts linked to your identity. Email to myself. Still haven't received it, but I think it was a large file update. 36 GB all up. If I don't find some goss on myself, this is a waste. Yeah, I'm waiting too. It did say it can take hours and possibly days to get it though. Voice recordings of Lil 14 me asking to be woken up in 20 minutes. Or entire audio streams of family dinners because somebody may or may not have mentioned something that may or may not sounded anything like okay, Google. I've stopped using voice assistants since. The most unsettling came from Facebook, of which I uninstalled and deleted my account right after that. I'll keep it short. Friend's father abandoned him and his mother when he was about 7 and the father never reached out. 2 years ago he had a tough day and we talked about his dad and how life would be different if he did not bail on them. At the same night I was scrolling through Facebook and some fucking old guy that looked very similar to my friend showed up as suggested friends. Immediately I took a screenshot and showed it to him. It was indeed his father that he never talked to for about 18 years. Mind you, my friend never created a Facebook account nor used other platforms, so we talked strictly through Steam. How in the hell did they suggested that to me? I did not even know had anybody with common friends and it literally popped the same night after a heart-to-heart. They had tracked literally everywhere I had been since 2015. They knew every fucking store I'd visited, what date and what time. Every restaurant, every hair salon, every nightclub, every plant nursery, you name it, they stored it. Google had it all. All innocuously stored under the title Google Timeline. When I discovered Google Maps Timeline feature, it was cool at first, flicking through years of location data, looking at when I'd been on trips, being amazed at how it had guessed what attractions I'd visited, how I got there etc. Then a few weeks later it dawned on me. Through that little rectangle of glass and plastic in my pocket, Google knows where I am every minute of the day. It knows where I live, where I work, what route I take between the two, what times I'm likely to leave and arrive, what my favorite places to visit are, where and when I like to shop. What do I get out of this? It saves me 5 seconds when searching by suggesting places I've visited before. But if someone wanted to ruin my life and got a hold on some of that data, they could seriously screw me over. No thanks. Is it actual recordings or text you find in your data? For me it had over 100 voice recordings. I usually delete all my activity every few months so I'm not too unsettled. I think everyone should delete their activity every once in a while just to be on the safe side. If anyone is wondering how to do this, just Google activity and click on it and find the delete activity by option. Directly right to the search bar with the little dot symbols, click on the today and change it to all time and leave all products alone, then click delete. Boom. Everything the Illuminati knows about you is history. I also delete my Facebook every few years or so. The most unsettling thing is that there are so many people surprised that Google collects data. All these people agree to this when using Google services. Also, it never really was a secret to begin with. Most people know this and there are people warning about this. Porn searches. In incognito mode. Oh no. Now I have to download my data. A recording of a meeting I was having with the top officials of a government organization which was supposed to be a secret. It also had the exact location and time. Could get into trouble over this as I signed a confidentiality agreement. Delete it immediately for your safety. There's instructions on how to in the top comments. I have. Thank you for the concern. Wait, Google records your audio? Dart. Yes. Not from going through my data, but one time about a year and a half ago, I was sitting there talking to my now wife about a time when I was a teenager when I snuck out of my friend's house at night to go hang out with a girl. I hadn't had any contact with this girl for several years at this point, so there's no reason to believe she would have been searching for me on Facebook, Google, whatever at right around this exact same time. Her name was mentioned once in this conversation. Afterwards, not 15 minutes later, I open up Facebook, and immediately she shows up as a suggested friend. So I guess the takeaway here is that not only is Google listening to seemingly everything, their code that waits for the phrase is obviously quite liberal in what it considers to possibly be the phrase from your Android devices, but they also share it with the likes of Facebook and I'm sure other companies.